What's up, guys? Welcome back. So please, if you would not subscribe, please subscribe. As of this recording, I have 29 subscribers, and I would like to reach at least 100 soon, and then 1,000, so that at least it can be clear that I'm doing something. So in this video, as per the title, I guess, is so that these are the things you need to know in Julia. So Julia is like any other programming language out there, but it has some things that you need to know for you to be more efficient in this language. This language is very nice and has some really simplified things. So let's see the first one. Let's open Julia by just typing Julia. Then let me zoom it out, in or out, wherever. So first thing is that Julia operators are functions. So arithmetic operators are functions. Something like plus, minus, division is a function in Julia. So if we do this 2 and 3, no, I'm sorry, this, you see it adds 5 and 3, so it's like the function and then arguments and then it returns the value. So that is it about Julia. So Julia has another thing, that everything that whenever you're working over here, when you do this way, then you type A and S, then the last execution to be done will always be returned. So that is it about this first part. At least I've covered two things once. So again, let's see another part. So in Julia, you need to know that you needed to know the await. Okay, I don't know how to explain, but at least I can show you that one. So 2, 3, 7, and 4. So when you want to add a vector or an array in Julia to what do we call a single value, what do we normally call that? When I remember, I'll indicate there. You use a dot sign plus operator. If it was multiplication, if it were whatever, because I used addition in the previous part, let me use addition right now. You see, it returns each value in the array having been added. Is this an array or a vector? I'm not sure, but I'm confusing between arrays and vectors, and so that is it basically. No, I'm sorry, it should have been a dot. So the same thing is done. Yeah, this is a vector. Okay, all of them are an array. No, this is a 3-element array and this is a 1x4 array. So this is a way to create matrices. Actually, this is like a matrix or something like that. Because if you want to create matrix, then you have to do something like this. It has at least to be of the same dimension, shown column wise, and that is really bad. I normally find myself doing this every time. So that is it for that part. Let's check another part. So anonymous functions in Julia. So an anonymous function in Julia is also called a generic function. It's just simply a function which you don't have to define the function name or such things. So you see, like it just takes in argument. Let's say we have a function that takes in argument x, and then for argument x it returns, let's say, the cube of the thing. So that is it. You see, it's a generic function. So how to use this function is another thing. We have very many ways we can use it, but I'll show you something called map over there in this part of the video. And then it can take in a single argument like this, of which it's just right, it returns the cube of 2, or it can take in as many arguments as in an array and return the for each value in an array. So that is it for this part of the video. Let's look what we can cover next by pressing. So a range in Julia is basically created by doing something like this, 1 to 20. By default, these will not get values. It will just store it in memory as a range, marking it knows it. An range is like almost a data type. It's like almost an object, so it knows it will not get values. But when you want to make an array from this, then it's normally like 1 to 20. Then you strip it out. 3 dots is used for stripping in Julia. hit enter and you get all the values. So that is it. Yeah, and then let's expand. Let's say you have something like a multi-dimensional array or matrix, depending on what you want to call it. GD, I hope you know how to create them. So that is a 2 by 4 array or matrix, whatever you want to call. So when you want to strip these values, you have two ways. So we have hcat, which is called hcat. No, not strip. When you want to make like as one array, you have two ways depending on the way you want your data to be. So let's say you have something like that. If you will do something like machine learning, weights, something like that, then you may ever understand the importance of such things. If you have some, you just find yourself using these things, so just see what happens. And then you want to make something like that, then obviously, okay, I forgot to strip 1 2 3. I showed you in the last clip how to strip. So this one creates an array which is simply something like this, like 1 2. It's still like, you see, it's something like a matrix created in a form, but now it has only one row. Is it row? Yeah, it has only one row. So and then we have the vcat version of this thing. I'm sorry, vcat. You see, this one is a vertical, this one is horizontal, and this one is vertical. Hcat is horizontal. Now this one creates a normal array, something like 1 2 3 4. You can see basically that is the same thing. So that is it for this clip. So guys, let's get into it. So let's say, I hope you still remember something I showed you in some clips back there, something like this. So it's not minor generic functions in Julia. So that is it. We'll be using here, we'll be chaining several functions, maybe 2 functions like that. Let me use a regression function, like a is equals to normal equals to mx plus b or something like that, or c, let me say constant, because that is always the constant there. So this is basically why I just named it anything, because I'm just trying to show you what it is. So let's say we have is equals to 2 3 4, and we have, in our case, let's say the gradient, which is m, is equals to, let's say, 5 or 2.1, something like that. And then we have c, which is the constant, to be 10. So you see, now we want each value of x, which is in our case a, to be mapped to this, so that we can get y. Now we say y is, we use assignment operator. So and then we say a, and then for each value of a, you see, this means, you see, we use this value to mean that we are stripping out a. So for each value of a, you want to chain it to a function, which in our case is, you want to first do a, let's call it, each value there, let's call it x, because I think that's more realistic. You see, we are creating the function, and then we are doing x power, let's say 2. Oh, it's not, but we already have something we want to cover. It's plus m, you see, plus m. Now if we hit enter, then this part will be executed. Now let's check it out. Hit enter, isn't it? Now you see, the first part has been executed, but that is not everything you want. Now you want to do again, now for each value of this array again, you want it to, now you do again the same thing. For each value of the array, this, please, you just need to master this part. When you are when you are stripping array so that you can use for a scalar, then you use dot. If you just multiplying 2 arrays, then you don't need this. I will show you that at that part. So let's do this, because it's, again, we are going to map this array into a single scalar value. Then let's call it a y, but we know it's y that's not yet complete. So we take each value of this array, 4, and then we add it to b. 5, we add it to b. Now the way to do that, we do y plus again b, because we called it c over here, if you can still remember c. Now why am I getting the error? Number missing. Okay, why? I'm sorry. I'm sorry guys, that I have to do this over here. Okay, I'm really sorry for that. You see, I said y instead of y underscore. So that is it. This is how to chain functions in Julia for two arrays. But let's say that m was in our case something like weights. Let's say it was something like machine learning. This is, let's say again, this could be, you say machine learning neural network uses the same thing, but now it's x times weight plus bias. You see, it's, yeah, y is equals to x times weight plus bias. It's something like this basically. So if we wanted to do this, let's say our x's were something like this is not typically what you will always be applying. I'm just showing you this even might be wrong. And then weights, let's say were, that is x, let's say weights were, let's just use the same value plus, no, let's use smaller values, 1.3, 1.2, and let's say 1.1. So let's say weight were these values, and then we have another value like the bias were, let's say 2, 1. They are supposed to be 4, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. So if we wanted these, then it would be simple. Y would be beta, and then now we don't use the dot because this time around we don't want it, and then you do beta. Then for each value of x, not beta, for each value of x you want to map it to, let's call it a, let's call it an a. Now you do, or you could just say x plus beta, no, a, let's call it a. And then I keep doing very big mistake. You see, now each value has been added. It's 2 plus 2, which you get 4. You see, as you go on that way. And then now again we want to each value that has the value, the product of the return value over here, which is the product or something like that. Then you want again to map it to the bias. Now the bias, you do the same thing. Let's call it again this time around y that is not complete, which is something I just don't know where it came from today. Then you are adding to bias. Now you see, that is basically what happened, but I don't know bias. Well, I'm just getting some weird errors. Okay, I think it's over here that I never did weight. I did b, which is bias instead of weight. That was it. So this is basically what happens, guys. So you see, that is chaining of functions in Julia, and we saw using array. You can again be using a single value instead of an array here. So that is it for this part. If there are other things you think I might cover, I need to cover them, this might be the first part, and I could add it to a playlist. Then we can create I can create a playlist of things you need to learn in Julia to make your life simple. So goodbye, let's meet in the next video.